Welcome to Weebearn, which helps you grow rich. We are a comprehensive money educational platform dedicated to nurture entrepreneurs, investors, and capitalists among secondary school students and anime lovers. Today is our first live streaming in English, so let me introduce our channels again. Weebearn literally means an otaku money-making channel, 毒撚賺錢台, a platform designed to facilitate financial gain among the anime community, making weebs rich again, or making otakus rich again, and great again. The initial segment of the discussion invites dialogue on data analysis related to profit generation, as well as an examination of financial reports, macroeconomic indicators, technical aspects, and exchange benefits, which we haven't touched in this morning session. So this is the afternoon session of today's live streaming, and this is our first live streaming in English, which is our Weebearn EN branch, 初培訓. And then the first session we are going to try out this HolyGrab AI first. Let me share my screen with you. Can you see the screen now? If you can see the screen, please type the number 3 in the chat room. And HolyCrab is a AIGC AI generated content platform, and it features video input besides common image reference and other input. Let me input some of my videos as an reference. So let us start again. Weebearn is a comprehensive financial educational platform and a anime community, and our vision and mission is to make weebs rich again and to make otakus great again. So Weebearn literally means otaku making money channel, 毒撚賺錢台. And today we are going to try out this HolyGrab AI for generating videos. But it only takes some very short videos, so we have to cut our clips into very short, and before we are going to upload it. How about we just upload our profile picture? It only takes video or audio input between 1.8 to 15.2 seconds, so we can only upload very short videos or audio. And we can reference our image reference by using the tag. Let's just try a shot. Let me think of a prompt. Do you guys have any interesting prompt? Well, let me take the reference with my reference image. You can just add and then click on the image one. Let's think of environment. Can anyone think of some interesting prompt? Well, I haven't written a prompt for a long time, because recently I'm experimenting with more interesting AI application. Actually, we can think of some emotion in a prompt in order to make a greater video. So what emotion do I have? How about aspirational? Yeah, you can use the word floating in the air. The AI understand. Now let's think of a style for the video. And you may also use some prompts from the traditional film directors. Like for angle, you may use eye level, Dutch low angle, high angle, top angle, or over the shoulder. And you may use some motions like 360-degree, zoom in, zoom out, pan or tilt, visual reference. Let's just try this prompt. I mean, I have 200 credits, I think, and it says the expected credit cost is only 100. I don't know why it says it's not enough. While we're waiting for the video generation, so let us continue with our market miscellaneous live streamer. After Oracle released its Q4 financial report, which exceeded expectations for both revenue and profits, its stock price experienced a significant decline in after-hours trading. It is essential to clarify that Oracle's fundamental business performance has not deteriorated. In fact, it has demonstrated a remarkable strength. The following key data underscores this situation. Its quarterly revenue stood at 19.2 billion, reflecting a year-on-year growth of 21%, surpassing an impressive annual growth rate of 93%. The substantial increase indicates that Oracle is aggressively capturing market share in the AI computing sector. Remaining performance obligations (RPO), which refer to unfulfilled contracted revenue, surged to 638 billion. The quarterly increase alone amounted to 85 billion, of which 75 billion stem. Wait, it actually gives us a link to the video. Maybe we can play this video. 本內容講係個人分享，講參考之用，並不構成要嘅銷售之內容數為任何保證，亦不構成投資建議、專業意見。業務之內與香港推舉任何加密貨幣投資有風險，投資標的價值可升可跌，個別不一定可預期將來表現，實租任何投資決定前，投資應參與相關上市文件做風險評估，並諮詢專業意見。本內容無意總合所述證券或投資牽涉任何風險。本內容所述資料根據獨立認為可靠的資料來源編製，為該等資料來源未經獨立核證，故不會就本內容為準確性或轉述，不需任何保證陳述或擔保。本內容無意向派發本內容即觸犯法例或拘留的司法權區或國家的任何人士或使得派發，亦無意供該人士或使得使用。This one is the one I think. Seems cool, isn't it? Let me play it again. And let me tune its dimensions so that you may see the whole video. So it actually puts me in a Gundam. Okay, so let us feed this video again. Attempt to fit this video again, and then try to get another video based upon it. Remaining performance obligation, which refer to unfulfilled contracted revenue, surged to 638 billion. We're talking about the Oracle government. The quarterly increase alone amounted to 85 billion, of which 75 billion stem from customer prepayments or contracts involving hardware provided by clients from AI data centers. This scenario suggests that Oracle also possesses a vast signed future revenue map. Given the robust performance of the business, one may question why the market reacted with a 10% drop in share value. There appears to be market anxiety concerning the potential infinite capital requirements. In summary, Oracle's display ambitions and funding appetite seem larger, more sustained, and more aggressive than what the market anticipated. And there are three primary areas of concern. One is concerning the capital expenditures and negative free cash flow. Oracle's capital expenditures for fiscal year 2026 reached $55.7 billion, considerably exceeding previous guidance of $50 billion. Consequently, the annual free cash flow turned negative at negative $23.7 billion. For the 2027 fiscal year, management has provided a capital expenditure forecast of $90 billion to $95 billion, with net cash outlay around $70 billion. A $40 billion financing plan, the dual impacts of equity dilution and increased debt pressure. Oracle announced a plan for the 2027 fiscal year to refinance approximately $40 billion through a combination of debt and equity, including a previously announced $20 billion stock issuance plan. In the current high valuation context, this stock issuance may result in approximately 3% to 4% equity dilution, while further debt accumulation will exacerbate the existing $150 billion in liabilities, potentially jeopardizing its investment-grade credit rating. The third is the revenue guidance merely meeting expectations. With RPO totaling $638 billion, market expectations originally foresaw an upward revision of the revenue guidance for the 2027 fiscal year to $19 billion. However, management decided to maintain the previous figure, which in the thriving AI market has been interpreted as a sign of increased expenditure but insufficient revenue acceleration. We may summarize Oracle's current predicament thus. The narrative remains, but the currency to realize the story must be borrowed. Oracle's narrative has not been postponed, but the cost to fulfill the story is higher than anticipated by some. Bring your own hardware, BYOH, and prepayment models. This is one of a recent money management model, 一個近代嘅理財模型. If one merely focuses on headlines, it may not seem that Oracle is burning cash to secure orders. However, a careful examination of the conference call reveals a significant structural transformation. The rapid implementation of the Bring Your Own Hardware BYOH model, just like Apple AAPL we've mentioned in this morning. This model indicates that clients, typically large AI firms or cloud giants, finance the purchase of GPUs independently or prepay for hardware costs, which are then placed in Oracle's data centers, with Oracle responsible for design, networking, security, and operations. 咁呢個理財技巧係點樣玩法呢？就係講緊啲客戶啊，即係例如一啲大型嘅 AI 公司啊，或者一啲雲端巨企，咁佢哋就會首先融資，就係用去買一啲GPU 咯，或者佢哋會預先支付一啲硬件嘅成本咯。而呢啲硬件就會擺喺 Oracle 佢嘅數據中心嗰度。咁 Oracle 就負責做設計、做佢嘅網絡啊、安全啊同埋營運嘅。Among the $67 billion in AI contracts signed during the fourth quarter, Q4, the vast majority employ this structure. Currently, contracts involving client-provided GPUs or prepayments for hardware have accumulated to $75 billion. The advantages of this model include outstanding capital efficiency. Oracle does not need to invest directly in the expensive acquisitions of GPUs. Clients facilitate GPU costs or make advance payments. And Oracle focuses on building data centers and offering networking, security, and cloud software solutions. Profitability increases. The CFO has indicated that the profit margins from BYOH agreements are on par with or even better than standard contracts because of reduced capital investment, leading to significant significantly improve return on investment (ROI) for these projects. Validation of Oracle's competitive advantage. This suggests that clients are not merely seeking to rent GPUs. They value Oracle's capacity to manage and operate large-scale complex AI clusters. 咁大家都知咧，融資就有幾大好處啦。咁首先當然就係我哋嘅資金流動性，我哋嘅資金靈活性好咗好多啦。咁我哋個資金效率好咗，就可以做更多賺錢嘅操作。由整體個收益率自然就會提高咯。咁因為你唔使摘數啊嘛。佢其實都係我哋平時講嘅一個羊毛出自牛身上或者羊毛出自豬身上嘅一種理財技巧，一種財技啦。咁就係將一啲成本可能轉嫁俾客戶啊，用客戶去幫你做融資咁樣。咁係一個好聰明嘅一種做法咯。It's a very smart move indeed for Oracle to finance by using this bring your own hardware BYOH model. Maybe we can try producing our next video. In order to create a short story, we may add some clashes and another character. So maybe we can add some files or some enemies into our video generation. Create a set from URL. Internal server app 喺呢一個 server 入面嘅，即係已經 upload 咗嗰陣。API task generation， 跟住你可以加 field 加落去。API video generation， 可以有 prompt， 可以有 duration， 有 video assets。Video asset IDs。prompt 唔可以係空嘅。Let's fix the Hermes agent first. Back to the Oracle's financial report. The bring your own hardware BOH model indicates that clients, typically large AI firms or cloud giants, finance the purchase of GPUs independently, or they prepare themselves for the hardware costs, and which are then placed inside Oracle's data centers, with Oracle responsible for its design, networking, security, and operation. This situation can be analogized to clients purchasing expensive car engines while opting to hire Oracle for the design of the entire vehicle's chassis and suspension, thus significantly mitigating Oracle's risk of hardware depreciation and technological obsolescence. So is the equity dilution poisonous or a necessary insurance premium? Let us perform a basic calculation. The $20 billion stock issuance, given the current stock price, will result in approximately 3 to 4% equity dilution. While this may temporarily depress earnings per share (EPS) and limits the capacity for stock buybacks, it implies that negative free cash flow will persist for at least 2 to 3 years. Without substantial buybacks to counteract dilution, the narrative of clean, high-margin AI infrastructure cash flow is deferred for several years. However, what is achieved in return? This move enables Oracle to weather its exceptionally ambitious production phase without jeopardizing its investment-grade credit rating. Confronted with $638 billion of contractually guaranteed demand, slowing construction due to concerns over 3 to 4% dilution would constitute a true strategic misstep. Is the $90 billion revenue guidance no upward revision really weak? Numerous media outlets have drawn attention to the phrase no upward revision. However, let us examine the figures. The fiscal year 2026 actual revenue was $67.4 billion, leading to a fiscal year 2027 guidance of $90 billion, a year-on-year growth of 33.5%. This guidance originates from a robust base of $67.4 billion. Comparatively, other major cloud providers like AWS, Azure, and GCP exhibit overall growth rate of approximately 20%. Therefore, a 33.5% growth projection from this magnitude is quite aggressive. This shows does not lie in the perceived low guidance, but rather in market sentiment, originally anticipating management to defer an even more ambitious forecast. Why did management choose not to escalate this forecast? The reasons are apparent. First is the revenue recognition concentrated in later periods. Of the $638 billion in IPO, only about 12% will be recognized within the next 12 months, with 34% within 13 to 36 months, and over 50% are beyond 36 months. Just like those long-term liabilities or non-current liabilities. Try to fix the Hermes Agent. Maybe let's try again. I've just chosen another model. Not retriable. Forbidden. Maybe it's because it's a foreign model. Oh, so it just went from HTTP 429 rate limit to 403 forbidden. So the rate limit exceeded probably is because of the rate limit of the previous free model I used. I decided to use some free models for some text or simple content generation, whereas for some investment vibe coding, we're going to use the most advanced model, of course. So basically, we should keep at least two different LLM. One is for some persistent, easy use, like we're trying to set a cron job for the Hermes agent, and if you would like to diagnose any issues within your AI agent, you may try Hermes Doctor, and then it will give a comprehensive report about how your Hermes agent is running, including security advisories, Python environment, required packages, configuration files, XAR model return. No return XAR models in config. You may try typing Hermes Doctor in your command line. Maybe let me try and share my screen. We just try to diagnose the AI agent, and it says that there is no active security advisories. So all the above is okay. However, for the auth providers, we have not logged in the auth, and we haven't stored the codex credential. You may also use codex directly in codex. So I think we may keep two harnesses. And here is the tool availability. And just to reassure if you haven't watched our last series, in the last Hermes Agent live stream, we have done the cron job, we have set the Discord, and you may also add your skills, Kanban, your cron job for automation, That's it. And now let's try out another LMO. So sometimes the language model may not be usable in your country or region, so you may have to choose another one. And sometimes if you use it too much and it exceeds the rate limit, you may choose to buy a better one, like purchasing more token usage, or better rate limit. Or you may also wait for another day and I will review it for you. You may also use Hermes setup portal to see the portal, which means that you may look at the Hermes portal just like what we did for OpenClaw in the last series in our Cantonese VTuber channel. And in the portal, you may manage your API keys, and you may review your usage. And this is my code, my user code, connecting Hermes Agent. And we've chosen the free subscription. You may give money to Hermes Agent, or you may directly give money to the model layer. Both are acceptable. And let's see the portal. Subscription credits. Top-up credit. Okay, it seems that the LLM is running again. Yeah, so that's how we solve an issue. For simple tasks like generating a report, you may use more simplistic model. So let me continue with our market research. Miscellaneous. Management has explicitly stated that the revenue and EPS for fiscal year 2027 will ramp up in the second half of the year as new data centers become operational. So production onboarding as a critical bottleneck is one of the reasons why management chose not to escalate this forecast of the 33.5% growth projection of Oracle. And third reason behind is the production is to raise the EPS guidance to $8.05 to convey confidence in operational leverage while refraining from making aggressive commitments regarding revenue. In other words, the constraint is not a lack of demand, but rather limited physical construction capabilities. Building data centers capable of processing $638 billion in RTO necessitates land, power, GPUs, cooling, and fiber optics. Not gems in any component with postponed revenue recognition. Yet, from a risk management perspective, conservatism reflects responsible stewardship. From a trading psychology standpoint, this does not provide the excitement what the market craves. And here's the dual nature of Oracle and its ever-shifting market narrative. Oracle embodies a company characterized by duality. When evaluating revenues, contracts, and business growth, it appears quite promising. However, scrutiny of free cash flow, rising debt, and equity dilution engenders a degree of apprehension regarding its financial pressures. In the short term, any overspending on capital projects or expansion of financing levels could trigger a new wave of sell-offs. The pivotal factors are the proportion of BYOH and the velocity of capacity deployment. Should Oracle continue to expand the accumulated BYOH contracts figure, increasing from the current 75 billion, the market may gradually reassess the true value of capital intensity. Concurrently, if OCI's growth rate maintains consistency above 70% to 80%, the narrative remains intact. If AI infrastructure demand continues, and Oracle sustains high levels of contract utilization, currently at 97.5% GPU utilization, a significant reversal in free cash flow is anticipated post-heavy expenditure phase. Ultimately, this depends on the narrative one chooses to believe and whether they maintain confidence in Oracle remaining resilient in the coming years. Yet, it is crucial to acknowledge that market narratives are subject to change. Today, investors may be in a state of alarm over financing, while tomorrow they might celebrate high growth. Predicting when the market may abruptly shift its focus remains elusive. In this volatile market environment, recognizing the dual aspects of this coin of this Oracle may represent the most prudent investment preparedness available to we as investors. And let's comprehend another report. SemiAnalysis published a report stating that NVIDIA's Vera Rubin maybe I share the links to the report so that everyone can read with me together. So back in half a month ago, everyone was so excited about the Vera Rubin. SemiAnalysis published a report stating that NVIDIA's Vera Rubin NVL72 rack had its system memory configuration approximately halved compared to the original plan at the time of shipment. Subsequently, a surge of bearish rumors emerged in the market, including claims such as NVIDIA has cut memory demand by half, and the supercycle of major memory manufacturers is about to end. These highly clickable conspiracy theories exemplify a phenomenon of decontextualized quoting. First, it is essential to clarify a key point. The term reduction refers to the system memory on the CPU side, which is LPDDR5X, rather than the crucial high-cost HBM4 high-bandwidth memory on the GPU side. For Rubin chip, the HBM4, which is responsible for handling significant matrix operations like matrix multiplication and attention mechanism, has not experienced any change in specifications in its specs or in its demand. So what is the reason for adjusting the LPDDR5X on the CPU side? The answer to this is straightforward: supply chain bottlenecks. While customer delivery demands remain urgent. And so this is a very reasonable and real life reason behind. Currently, achieving the originally planned ultra-high capacity necessities utilizing highly dense 16-layer stacked LPDDR5X modules, which are significantly constrained in yield and capacity. If NVIDIA were to adhere strictly to the no shipment without compliance policy, the production timeline for Rubin would consequently be severely delayed. Therefore, Jensen Huang made a pragmatic business decision to lower specifications to expected shipments by adopting more mature 96 GB modules, circumventing supply chain bottlenecks to ensure rapid delivery of Rubin's racks to cloud giants such as Microsoft and Meta. And this also teaches us a lesson. So for we founders or business owners, we should always take a critical decision, do our own decision making in some critical error under some critical circumstances, and that's where you have to try try to get a balance. So it's better to deliver a still okay Weebearn rack rather than delay it longer, and also make the cloud purchasers, make the cloud giants disappointed. So money management is about trade-off。理財就係資源運用就係一個權衡，即係如果你明知道你做滿晒佢原先個 strat 係冇可能喺個供應鏈有一個樽頸位，咁你就可以犧牲一啲冇咁重要嘅部分嚟去換取更快嘅 shipment、更快嘅船期，可以將一啲大型嘅運算中心送到去將呢啲硬件送到去一啲雲端巨企手上。Currently, therefore, Jensen Huang make this pragmatic business decision to lower the specifications to expedite shipments by adopting more mature 96 GB modules. And this move not only assists customers in reducing costs, lowering the total cost of ownership (TCO), with each rack's price dropping by $800,000 from approximately 7.6 million to 6.8 million. But it also maintains the potential for upgrades， 即係佢仲可以有得再升級啦，就好似大家砌機去賺錢咁樣。咁相信好多人一開頭買電腦都會可能有啲小朋友會選擇自己砌機啦，咁就係好似做生意或者做人一樣。即係做人或者做生意都係講求一個靈活多變。Whether you are doing your own business or just simply as a human being, as a person, you should kind of make critical decision making by considering some trade-off, and you have to be flexible to react to the surrounding environment change. And with one set, the only constant is change. With each rack's pricing dropping by 800,000, but it also maintains the potential for upgrades. The Blackwell generation, such as GB300 Ultra, uses LPDDR memory directly soldered onto the motherboard, while the Weebearn platform employs a socketed SOCA MM2 modular design. This hot swappable field replaceable design indicates that the 96 GB configuration is merely a transitional configuration under supply chain constraints. 咁從呢個故事你可以睇到供應鏈管理對於我哋理財有幾咁緊要。From this story, you can tell that how the supply chain management is very important to our money management. If customers have genuine demands in the future and high-density module production ramps up, upgrades are possible. Upgrades can be executed in data centers, just like swapping our own PC memory. Evidently, this change does not stem from NVIDIA believing that memory demand has decreased, but rather represents an engineering compromise, implying a get on board first, buy a ticket later flexible strategy. And that is what we as entrepreneurs or startup founders should learn from Jensen Huang's supply chain decision making. With a reduction in system memory configuration, a new trend may emerge, pushing more workloads towards the storage layer. In a forthcoming era of agents and long context interaction, Artificial intelligence will need to engage in multi-turn dialogues, utilize tools, and collaborate, which will generate substantial KV cache, key value cache requirements. If all these temporary data are stored within the most expensive and scarce GPU HBM, costs will escalate. Conversely, consolidating them entirely into traditional hard drives will present speed challenges. And this is also another balancing, another compromising. Consequently, the AI industry is advancing towards a three-tier memory architecture, akin to traditional CPU caches. So back in the old days, when we learned the basic computer science fundamentals, you may have heard of the three-tier caches, L1, L2, L3. And in the AI industry, in this modern version of three-tier architecture includes the hot tier, HBM4, which is utilized for the most critical real-time computations. The warm tier, LPDDR5X SoCamm, is suitable for temporarily storing ready-to-use KV cache and agent scheduling states, whereas the cold and capacity tier is a high-performance SSDs and AI-native storage for long-standing retention of conversational memory and historical data. As the system memory configuration decreases, the value of this three-tier architecture becomes increasingly evident, necessitating software to manage data flows intelligently across various tiers. NVIDIA's comprehensive control from chip to software stack facilitates its optimization capabilities. From this change, two conclusions can be drawn. The significance of the storage layer, including SSD or NAND flash, is growing, with the reduced capacity of LPDDR5X on the CPU side to maintain overall smoothness. The system will undoubtedly more aggressively employ software stacks like NVIDIA Dynamo, BlueField 4, NIXL, etc. to migrate the warm KV cache and agent context to high performance storage layer. This shift means that for memory manufacturers, the previously secondary NAND flash and the NAND flash business will become more and more indispensable, an indispensable strategic element in the era of AI agents. Vendors possessing both DRAM and NAND capabilities like Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron will surely benefit from greater market visibility during this evolution. Given that each rack can save $800,000 and with accelerated shipping speed, cloud giants are likely to increase orders for the Rubin racks. From a mathematical standpoint, the global total capacity of LPDDR5X remains limited. If NVIDIA reduces unit configurations by half, the memory that previously could have produced 100 racks can now provision 200 racks, resulting in the overall Rubin platform expanding at double the pace. Whereas for memory manufacturers, capacity is still maintained as full operation, and total bits demand has not decreased. In fact, for every additional rack sold, the amount of HBM4 embedded has not been diminished. Moreover, it is essential to consider potential future needs for clients to return to purchase those 192 GB modules for subsequent upgrades once capacity constraints ease. In light of the report, Semi-Analysis founder Dylan Pato's swift response on social media highlighted. Interestingly, those sharing our report often overlook a majority of its content. In essence, the complex supply chain analysis inevitably gets simplified as spread. While simplification is not inherently negative, it becomes problematic when it distorts its meaning. When NVIDIA adjusts system memory configuration to expedite shipments, get misconstrued memory demand has been halved. The essence of this message is completely represented or misunderstood. The SOCAMM narrative serves as a microcosm. Instead of memory demand collapsing, the underpinning infrastructure for artificial intelligence is transitioning toward a more mature, layered, and software-defined memory architecture. Within this framework, hot, warm, and cold data will each have appropriate storage carriers. As the scale of AI deployment expands, the overall demand for silicon and storage will continue to rise. The logic surrounding the memory supercycle remains unchanged. Bottlenecks will shift across different layers, but the overall demand trend is clear. The next time when you encounter a headline stating some demand has halved, it may be worthwhile to pose the question, at which layer has the demand been halved? Is it GPU side or is it for the CPU side? What is the underlying reason? Is it because of the supply chain bottleneck, or is it due to the genuine cut in demand? What implications does this hold for other layers? Will the demand be shifted to other layers of caches? The answers are often more intriguing than the headlines themselves. Now let's talk about MLCC. Since Goldman Sachs has indicated that multi-layer ceramic capacitors, MLCCs, may emerge as the next memory component, providing an in-depth analysis of the current market demand and supply chain conditions. The following points may summarize the relevant highlights from Goldman Sachs. In terms of the market demand and supply status for high-end MLCCs, the lead time for high-end MLCCs has extended from the original 6 to 8 weeks to over 20 weeks, reflecting a significant rise in market demand. Second, the demand for high-end MLCCs from AI servers has markedly risen, as these servers require components that are smaller, possess higher capacitance, and offer greater reliability to manage the rapid current fluctuations of GPUs or ASICs, thereby ensuring stable chip operation. Third is the rising cost and increased usage. According to a report by Morgan Stanley, so you may take a look at some cross-referencing sources. The cost of MLCCs required for NVIDIA's next-generation RAG platform has escalated from 1,530 to 4,320, while the quantity needed has expanded from 441,000 to 600,000 units, representing an increase of 182%. Let's take a look at the key suppliers. Oh, I haven't checked in the chat room. Let's take a look at the key suppliers of high-end AI MLCCs. First is Murata Manufacturing, 6981 of Japan. Holds a global market share of approximately 35 to 40%, with a high-end MLCC market share reaching 70%. The second one is Samsung Electromechanics, 009150. 00519150 of South Korea, commands a global market share exceeding 20%. And then another Japanese company, TDK 6762, maintains a global market share of around 10 to 15%. And also Taiyo Yuden 6976, also from Japan, possesses a global market share of about 8 to 12%. Due to the tight capacity constraints of high-end MLCCs, there may be a spillover of demand into the mid and low-end markets. The following companies are also noteworthy in this regard. Yageco Yageo 2327 from Taiwan achieves a global market share of approximately 6 to 10%. Wowsin Technology 2492 from Taiwan holds a global market share of around 2 to 4%. Southera 6971 from Japan boasts a global market share of roughly 3 to 6%. Vishay VSH from USA harbors a global market share of about 1 to 2%. Fenghua Advanced Technology 000636 from China maintains a global market share of approximately 1 to 3%. Here are the challenges on the supply side. The production of high-end MLCCs is technically complex, with new production lines requiring 2 to 3 years from planning to operation. Additionally, the growing demand from automotive, industrial, and consumer electronics sectors for MLCCs exacerbates supply pressures. Given the rapid growth in demand for high-end MLCCs alongside supply chain constraints, we as investors may focus on the core suppliers mentioned above and analyze the companies in the mid to low-end MLCC sectors that may benefit from the spillover effect of demand. In conclusion, with the swift development and application of AI technologies, high-end MLCCs are increasingly becoming essential components, and their market potential warrants ongoing examination. Upon conducting the analysis of the CPO, Common Package Optics, it is pertinent to engage in discourse regarding another significant highlight of the semi-analysis report, also from semi-analysis. Yeah. Oh, hello. Gura is back, I think. Yeah. Oh, hello, Gura. Well, let me continue with my miscellaneous. Do you have any opinions on the market, Gura? Or may I call you Castros? Okay, let me continue. The controversy surrounding the postponement of the 800-volt DC direct current scheme. This matter has generated considerable buzz within the market. Following the report's release, the leading foreign investment from Morgan Stanley publicly opposed the claims, asserting that supply chain investigations indicate that there is no delay with the 800-volt DC. Leading Taiwanese power companies such as Delta Electronics have their 800-volt power cabinets ready for the third quarter and will continue to supply North American cloud giants in the fourth quarter. One party poses a postponement until after 2028, whereas the other claims that shipments will proceed as planned in the second half of this year. This raises controversies and questions regarding the underlying discrepancies. Semi-analysis articulates that the central argument contends that NVIDIA's native 800-volt DC architecture has experienced a significant delay in mass shipment timelines, now projected for 2028 or later, which substantially exceeds earlier market expectations of volume availability in 2027. The reasons provided include chip requirements for such high voltage levels are currently unnecessary. NVIDIA's recent platforms, such as the basic Ruby model, utilize a lower voltage design of approximately 50 volt. The next generation of ultra-high power platforms, such as Rubin Ultra and Feynman, are still in the early design stages. Secondly, the conversion efficiency does not yield sufficient economic justification. For cloud providers, the dual conversion process of transitioning from grid 350 to 450 volt, elevated to 800 volt distribution, and then reduced to computational 50 volt, does not result in enough savings to outweigh the cost of the new equipment. They prefer a direct high-voltage transmission that reduces voltage only in proximity to the chips. Thirdly, alternative solutions are progressing at a quicker pace. A parallel positive and negative 400-volt DC solution has an accelerated rollout schedule, projected to be operational by the second half of 2026, particularly favored by major corporations developing proprietary chips. Nonetheless, semi-analysis stresses that this is merely a timeline postponement, rather than outright cancellation. It maintains that 800-volt DC's high-efficiency advantages will become essential once the power requirements of individual computing modules surpass 15 kW. Morgan Stanley counters this by strongly contesting the proposition that 800-volt will be delayed until 2028. Their findings, based on supply chain research, suggest that the industry trend remains uninterrupted. NVIDIA has also explicitly stated that the 800-volt DC power cabinets are expected to be ready for mass production in the third quarter of 2026, with deliveries to North American cloud providers scheduled for the fourth quarter. Delta Electronics stands as an early technological leader. Furthermore, many cloud giants have shifted their research and development focus from positive and negative 400-volt to 800-volt. Morgan Stanley emphasizes the necessity of distinguishing between initial small-scale shipments in the second half of 2026 and full-scale mass production. So actually, both parties are indeed correct, as they address distinct layers within the power architecture. In phase one, where sidecar power cabinets, the ongoing current perspective held by Morgan Stanley is true. This scenario mirrors an upgrade for existing data centers. Actually, there is no need to redesign chips or motherboards. Rather, an independent 800-volt DC power cabinet is placed adjacent to the server rack, responsible for converting AC to 800-volt DC for server delivery. This constitutes an infrastructure upgrade, as highlighted by Morgan Stanley, with Delta Electronics preparing for mass production by the second half of 2026. On the other hand, in phase 2, native 800-volt architecture, which is the future caution raised by semi-analysis, it represents the ultimate energy-saving solution, allowing high-voltage DC to flow in uninterrupted to the chip vicinity before the final step of voltage reduction occurs. This necessitates complete compatibility in the design of chips, motherboards, and servers from the onset, as anticipated with future platforms like Rubin Ultra. As the power consumption of server cabinets potentially exceeds 600 kW, and traditional transformers become inadequate, this transition is obligatory. However, due to stringent safety regulations regarding high voltage and immature arc prevention standards, combined with the chip development timeline, large-scale dissemination will indeed be postponed until after 2028. Thus, the shipments discussed by Morgan Stanley pertain to sidecar power cabinets, while the postponement referred to by semi-analysis signals the delay of the native 800-volt architecture for servers. The juxtaposition of these assertions rests fundamentally on different layers, and therefore does not constitute a conflict in their nature. Why positive and negative 400-volt is being prioritized? Given that the native 800-volt will require further time, how are data centers addressing power consumption challenges in the interim? The answer lies within the positive and negative 400-volt bipolar DC. This solution presents a compromise. It exploits the potential difference of positive 400-volt and negative 400-volt to achieve the same 800-volt transmission efficiency. However, with a ground voltage of only 400-volt, the associated safety risks are significantly mitigated, thereby enabling the extensive use of existing and highly mature 400-volt components from the electric vehicle EV ecosystem. This approach is akin to contrasting a high-speed rail line with a velocity of 800 km per hour, native 800-volt, while safety tests remain incomplete. Thus, existing high-rail high-speed rail technology is initially employed to establish a dual-direction rapid transit system of positive and negative 400 volt. This rationale elucidates why the OCP Diablo 400 standard, spearheaded by corporations like Google and Meta, is rapidly proliferating, recognized for its safety, practicality, and immediate energy-saving capabilities. Although NVIDIA remains committed to advancing its pure 800 volt option in pursuit of maximum efficiency, market divisions are rising. Cloud giants predominantly opt for the pragmatic positive and negative 400 volt as an initial step, while NVIDIA continues to advocate for its most densely configured native 800 volt infrastructure. Transitioning from 400 volt to 800 volt is viable. Encouragingly, these two designs exhibit architectural compatibility. Although not a straightforward plug-and-play transition, upgrading can occur incrementally. Industry standards have been designed with this compatibility in mind, such that whether the data center interfaces with positive and negative 400 volt or 800 volt, internal server cabinet power distribution remains at a safe low voltage of approximately 50 volt. The main power conversion are conducted within the peripheral power cabinets. Hence, the currently deployed sidecar power cabinets adopt a modular design. As future technologies develop, operators can directly upgrade these cabinets without necessitating a complete reconstruction of the data center. For the retrofitting of existing facilities, commencing with positive and negative 400 volt and subsequently upgrading to 800 volt is deemed the safest approach. This further illustrates why major players are hesitant to implement an immediate transition, since the advantages of fully adopting native 800 volt fail to offset the regulatory risks and substantial costs involved. Identifying beneficiaries and those under pressure is what we need during our money management analysis. The delay of native 800 volt alongside the planned rollout of positive and negative 400 volt has yielded obvious short-term winners and relatively disadvantaged entities. Short-term beneficiaries comprise established heavy electrical and power distribution infrastructure firms, such as Vertex, Legrand, Amphenol, among others. Regardless of whether clients employ positive or negative 400 volt or the sidecar 800 volt solution, these companies can presently deliver their existing power distribution, cabling, and cabinet products. Furthermore, vendors connected to the 800 volt supply chain of electric vehicles are similarly benefited. Entities facing pressure include those whose growth prospects are intricately tied to rapid deployments of native 800 volt, such as power semiconductor manufacturers reliant on GaN chips from Navitas or SiC chips from Wolfspeed, along with pure 800 volt equipment vendors whose revenues heavily depend on the NVIDIA Rubin Ultra platform. Winners with a balanced advantage comprise product suppliers whose products embody a modular upgradable design. For instance, Delta Electronics power cabinet solutions inherently possess modular upgrade capacity, allowing them to capitalize on existing transition orders at positive and negative 400 volt while seamlessly upgrading alongside the maturation of the 800 volt standard without the need for a complete redesign. In reflection, this ongoing discourse regarding the postponement of the 800 volt DC scheme mirrors the prior analysis of the CPODA. Both instances engage in discussions around technological transformation, stemming from conflicting varying stages and levels, resulting in the apparent contradiction of one entity claiming delays while another asserts on scheduled shipments. Within this rapidly evolving AI landscape, the profusion and swift pace of technical specification and upgrade pathways can easily lead the market into confusion and panic due to information asymmetries. Nevertheless, the misunderstanding and market pricing discrepancies emerging from misinterpreting misinterpreting the layer represent optimal opportunities for discerning investors to uncover the underlying truth and identify viable investment prospects. Let's talk about agentic commands. Currently, the demand for agentic commands is still in an immature phase. Despite Stripe having a significant amount of agent document traffic, the number of agents actually conducting transactions is extremely low. The threshold for agent token provided by Visa is quite high, attainable only by large enterprises. Compared to traditional e-commerce, the experience of agent shopping is markedly inadequate in visually intensive categories, such as apparel and electronics, as chat interfaces cannot effectively substitute for image comparison functionalities. There may be potential in high-frequency, low-consideration shopping scenarios, such as delivery services or in complex checkout processes. Yet, this model also encounters API restrictions and competition from market giants. Secondly, the second point is the limitation of machine commerce and payment protocols. Protocols such as X402 and MC machine payment protocol are relatively suitable for long-tail markets. However, developers typically prefer to utilize existing subscriptions and API keys, while challenges associated with micropayment could be mitigated by prepaid credit limits. Major SaaS providers frequently favor signing contracts with enterprises and exhibit reluctance towards more fragmented pricing options. Market opportunities predominantly center around small services and developers, yet their market scale remains limited, with top-tier demand already being satisfied by existing platforms like Stripe, and content access predominantly dominated by CDN giants. Third is the long-term potential of inter-agent payments and agent finance. Inter-agent payments currently remain at a theoretical level, necessitating solutions to fundamental issues related to discovery, trust, negotiation, and disputes. Future transaction models are anticipated to diverge significantly from existing frameworks. Agentic finance is the sole area with clear demand at present, poised to enable substantial capability enhancements, such as real-time rebalancing, yet competitive advantages are primarily skewed toward established firms due to legal regulations and existing relationships. And here are some recommendations for other entrepreneurs like me. Oh, my Hermes agent actually has done his daily research report. Let me try uploading my research report for my AI agent. It's not done by me myself. It's done by my Hermes agent for the first time. And this is the historical moment of our Weebearn AI agent investment research department. The directory is probably in our Ubuntu and then home and Weebearn. Let me copy the path again. Home Weebearn reports. Okay, let me upload this file. It's actually quite funny, quite interesting. And when you read the content generation, content creation by AI agent, people may argue that AI agents do not have creativity, but I would argue that they have another sense of creativity. In some context, in some sense, the AI agents may be more creative than you think, even more creative than you. Why is my anti-gravity still installed? Okay, let's view it here. As you see, the AI agent is quite comprehensive when doing his report. 已發三行摘要去 Discord home channel. So you see AI agents are very clever. Yeah. Okay, I let the AI agent to upload its investment research report in terms of in form of a thread of Discord. Back to the recommendations for we entrepreneurs. Large enterprises, owing to their relatively ample resources, can proactively position themselves and regard payments as a core challenge. However, the actual hurdles lie in the coordination, verification, and settlement between agents and human beings. Beyond mere capital transfers, startups should not delay but should focus on current market needs rather than future trends. This is some of Mulder's fintech idea. The author also suggests that the author of the financial report. Beyond the four identified categories of demand, there remain unmet opportunities that warrant future exploration. Over the past year, various agent infrastructure firms, including Stripe, have introduced new products. However, the market demand remains non-existent, with structural issues still prevalent. While Stripe has launched its 288 new products, over 1,000 merchants are involved in the agentic commercial market, yet the number of registered agents conducting transactions remain at a unit level. Visa's agent tokens require 3 months for KYC approval, while Coinbase reports 69,000 active agents with a daily transaction volume of approximately $17,000. The development of shop.fast.xyz aims at direct agent commerce, yet the current AI shopping experiences fall short compared to traditional e-commerce, especially in categories like apparel and electronics. Users tend to prefer visual comparison of products, so user interfaces (UI) is still important, rather than textual descriptions. Merchants request their stores to have agent inquiry capabilities to preemptively address future mainstream development. However, this demand remains unexpressed. Conversational commerce holds certain advantages for high-frequency, low-consideration shopping, particularly in food ordering, yet current API frameworks complicate this process. In terms of agent-to-network services, developers show a preference for computation and periodic API usage, with the high cost of stablecoins making small API calls economically unfeasible. Machine commerce primarily serves small suppliers and individual developers. However, the transaction volumes are still low and the market is underdeveloped. Transactions between agents have yet to yield meaningful volumes, and any future structured trading is likely to involve multi-party settlements. But existing market realities must still be contended with. In financial context, client demand is apparent, and AI can be seamlessly integrated into existing operations, though competitive dynamics pose considerable challenges for emerging fintech or PayFi firms. Ultimately, existing companies continue to build due to capital flow and long-term investments, while it remains crucial for startups to identify demand amidst market fluctuations, even amidst the construction process. Forthcoming activities have achieved rapid growth, surpassing the initial mapping of the 4 categories. The US government's approach to Bitcoin as a strategic reserve has evolved significantly over the past few years. Initially, during the 2024 presidential campaign, there were indications that the federal government might actively purchase Bitcoin to establish a strategic reserve, like a DAT. However, subsequent actions have fallen short of these expectations. In March 2025, President Trump signed an executive order designating Bitcoin seized through criminal investigations and civil forfeitures as part of a strategic reserve. This order mandated that the government hold these assets permanently, but did not authorize or require new purchases of Bitcoin. The immediate market reaction was negative, with Bitcoin's price dropping by 5.7% at the time, reflecting disappointment over the lack of a purchase mandate. The legislative landscape also shifted. The original Bitcoin Act proposed in 2024 included provisions for active government purchases of up to 1 million BTC. However, this initiative has since been scaled back significantly. The current legislative focus is the American Retirement and Monetary Advancement Act (ARMA), which seeks to prohibit the sale of Bitcoin held by the government for at least 20 years, but does not include any obligation to acquire additional Bitcoin either. At present, the US government holds approximately 190,000 Bitcoin, about 0.9% of Bitcoin's total supply, all of which was obtained through legal seizures rather than market purchases. While ARMA is unlikely to have a significant immediate impact on the Bitcoin market, its potential passage could solidify Bitcoin's status as a national reserve asset, potentially paving the way for future discussions about mandatory government purchases. Again, this ARMA is not the time series model, it's about the act of the United States. Discussions that commenced in 2021 culminated in the introduction of the first concrete bill in 2024, which was subsequently reintroduced in 2025 and then revised into what is now known as ARMA in 2026. A consistent theme throughout this timeline has been an adjustment to political realities. Mandatory purchase volumes were initially upheld and later eliminated. Each amendment facilitated the likelihood of passage, but concurrently diminished the anticipated market impact. Senator Loomis had actively advocated for the inclusion of Bitcoin into federal reserves since her entry into the Senate in 2021. During this period, there was a lack of consensus within Congress regarding such a move, and the adverse market conditions of the crypto winter in 2022, compounded by the demise of FTX, further exacerbated the situation. A shift in sentiment occurred in 2024, when Bitcoin surpassed $100,000 and spot ETFs received regulatory approval. In July of 2024, Loomis presented the first specific legislation, a bill mandating the acquisition of 1 million Bitcoins over a 5-year period, intended to be held for no less than 20 years, financed through Federal Reserve surplus accounts. Acquiring 1 million BTC constituted 4.76% of the total supply and surpassed the reported holdings of approximately 840,000 BTC by the strategy. The bill became defunct automatically when the congressional session expired. Then in March 2025, coinciding with the issuance of the executive order, Loomis reintroduced the Bitcoin Act as Senate Bill 954. The fundamental framework remained unchanged. The acquisition of 200,000 BTC annually over 5 years to amass 1 million, with a mandatory holding period of 20 years. The modified version eliminated specific exemptions from the disposal ban, thus tightening the holding obligation and attracting 4 additional co-sponsors. The market response was predominantly favorable. However, the bill encountered significant resistance on 3 distinct fronts. Firstly, the fiscal implication. 1 million Bitcoin at current valuation amount to hundreds of trillions of won. Fiscal conservatives within the Republican Party contended that gold serves as a stable store of value, whereas Bitcoin is merely a speculative asset, and opposed any mandatory purchase framework based on these grounds. Secondly, concerns regarding dollar hegemony. Led by Representative Maxine Waters, Democratic opponents asserted that recognizing Bitcoin as a reserve asset would undermine the dollar's status as the global reserve currency. Thirdly, the stance of the Treasury Secretary. In August 2025, Secretary Besson publicly expressed that the administration would not pursue further Bitcoin acquisitions. The official responsible for implementing the law had openly opposed it. Therefore, the bill has been stagnant within the Senate Banking Committee since that time. Finally, in May 2026, Representative Nick Begich introduced the American Retirement and Monetary Advancement Act (ARMA). Democratic Representative Judd Golden agreed to be a co-sponsor. The change in nomenclature was a strategic maneuver aimed at distancing the new proposal from the controversies that hampered the previous legislation and expanding its support base. ARMA serves two primary purposes. It consolidates all Bitcoin currently possessed or seized by the federal government into a unified reserve under Treasury administration and prohibits the liquidation of dead Bitcoin for a minimum of 20 years. The only allowable exception to this prohibition is the utilization of Bitcoin for the retirement of national debt. The critical distinction from its forerunner is the absence of a mandatory purchase requirement within ARMA. Whereas the Bitcoin Act mandated the procurement of 200,000 BTC annually, ARMA omits this stipulation altogether. Instead, it directs the Treasury and the Commerce Department to investigate and report within 180 days on the feasibility of additional purchases that could be executed in a budget-neutral manner. A mandate for study is not equivalent to a mandate for purchase. In essence, ARMA represents a custody and holding legislation rather than an acquisition-focused bill. Its design prioritizes passage reflecting this objective. The near outlook indicates a restricted impact on the market. Presently, two bills are progressing concurrently through the Congress. The Bitcoin Act S.954, which is undergoing review by the Senate Banking Committee, and the ARMA bill, which is in the House. The goals of these two pieces of legislation diverge. The Bitcoin Act aims to facilitate acquisitions, while ARMA focuses on custodial regulations. There is a greater likelihood of ARMA advancing before the Bitcoin Act, which has languished in committee for over a year due to its associated fiscal implications and exclusive sponsorship by Republican members. In contrast, ARMA benefits from Democratic backing and does not require any purchase obligations, thereby eliminating a primary source for resistance. Nevertheless, the successful passage of ARMA would not necessarily translate into an immediate benefit for the Bitcoin market. Should ARMA be enacted, the approximately 320,000 BTC currently held by the federal government should be legally barred from market entry for a minimum duration of 2 decades. Consequently, the potential for government sales would cease. However, the absence of a purchase obligation means there will also be no introduction of new demand. Market expectations have favored direct government purchases of Bitcoin, an outcome that ARMA does not facilitate. Its practical implications are more akin to formalizing the executive order from March 2025 into statutory law. The implications of what may follow ARMA are significant. Nick Begich, who has held Bitcoin since 2013 and co-sponsored the Bitcoin Act in March 2025, has publicly endorsed Bitcoin as a strategic asset. The design of ARMA appears to suggest a systematic method, beginning with the establishment of a legal framework, followed by the introduction of acquisition mandates. If ARMA is enacted and Bitcoin attains official recognition as a national reserve asset, discussions regarding compulsory purchases are likely to rekindle with greater legitimacy. Although this trajectory is lengthier than the market had anticipated following Trump's campaign statements, the overall direction will remain unchanged. In conclusion, the enactment of ARMA would yield a limited effect on near-term prices. However, it possesses the potential to serve as a positive long-term influence on the market and long-term demand. If ARMA is passed, the likelihood of future purchase legislation would also become increasingly evident. If one possesses investment in the crypto market, the recent fluctuations would likely have been quite difficult to endure. Bitcoin has already declined to the price levels of the last bullish market, while Ethereum is confronted with an unprecedented test of faith. Moreover, numerous altcoins have seen decreases exceeding 90% from their peak values, a maximum drawdown of over 90%. A few observations arise. Projects that exhibit product market fit and can generate substantial returns finally attract the interest of investors, such as the hyperliquid. Layer 1 public blockchains lacking users and existing only in name are experiencing a corresponding zeroing out of their valuation, such as Cardano XRP. We may assert that the cryptocurrency sphere is transitioning into a more mature state. Market focus is gradually shifting from infrastructure to applications that yield genuine value. This is akin to the internet era, during which the highest market capitalizations belong to application layers such as Meta and Microsoft, rather than underlying protocols like TCP/IP. If you are interested in the history of internet, you may see our previous live streaming in the last 2 years. Weebearn has hosted a metaverse talk previously in Central. In contrast to previous bear markets, I believe this cycle will lead to the demise of a greater number of projects, but it will simultaneously unveil numerous opportunities for truly valuable applications with user engagement and demand. These represent our primary targets for future investment. Amidst the recent market panics, many fundamentally sound projects have declined to price points where you may find acceptable for entry. To compose several articles if you review these opportunities comprehensively and enumerate the reason, you may consider, you may analyze on-chain projects such as ENA, Uni, AAVE, as well as cryptocurrency stock entities like Coinbase and Circle. Conviction is cultivated over time. It develops from understanding the projects in question, undergoing the challenges of market fluctuations, thereby validating one's perspectives, ultimately leading to the reaping of rewards. Investing is inherently challenging, and this is even more pronounced within the cryptocurrency market. The key lies in learning progressively through each experience and making improved decisions, making more informed and wiser decisions. We may contend that the current downturn of ETH, Ethereum, is not merely a matter of price, rather, it pertains to the issue of value capture. Vitalik has finally acknowledged this matter openly. There is the crisis and path forward for ETH, the need for a second foundation. On 24th of May, Vitalik published an extensive article, from which we may extract 3 key points. The success of ETH Layer 1 does not hinge on speed, but rather on CROPS, CROPS, censorship, resistance, openness, privateness, and security. Vitalik explicitly states that merely achieving slightly more decentralization than others lead us down a path of mediocrity, and we will lose. ETH should invest in CROPS, CROPS, exemplified through the use of AI-assisted formal verification to create an Ethereum that can be proven to be bug-free. Second, the mission of the Ethereum Foundation, EF, is to reduce its own influence. The Ethereum Foundation currently holds only 0.16% of the total ETH supply. In contrast, other public blockchain foundations typically hold between 10% to 50%. and you may see that Ethereum Foundation always sold their ETH reserve. Vitalik asserts that the EF has never been the center of Ethereum, but merely a node with a specific mission. The recent talent exodus has even been intentional, encouraging individuals with a shared vision to depart and effect change from the outside. The asset ETH requires assistance. This statement surprised me somewhat. Well, Vitalik openly acknowledged that the necessary work to support ETH's value as an asset exceeds the capabilities of the EF. He said, "This is where we need other heroes, some of whom hold more ETH than the EF does, to step in and help. In simple terms, the EF will not and should not manage ETH's price, engage in market promotion, or handle institutional business development. These responsibilities should be delegated to other heroes." This is like a ideal small government. So in a idealistic society, the government should hold the minimal power. That is the small government and big market, and we should rely on private sectors to build a better society. So what exactly should these other heroes do? The establishment of an entity independent of the Ethereum Foundation, provisionally termed Ethereum United or Second Foundation, would convene leading DeFi projects such as Uniswap, AVE, and Lido, with the dedicated purpose of addressing value capture for ETH. This organization will primarily undertake 4 tasks. First is to establish the second foundation to address areas such as go-to-market strategies, GTM, institutional business development, and ecosystem building that the EF does not pursue. The second function is to create a treasury to be managed by the second foundation. However, a pressing question arises regarding the sources of funding. Third is to ensure the L2 sequencer fees are redirected back to L1. Currently, Layer 2 sequencer income remains predominantly with themselves, contributing only a negligible fee for block data to Ethereum. Incentives should be structured according to the decentralization stage of L2. Higher percentage of revenue should be allocated to L1 at stage 0 or 1, while stages 2 or 3 could retain more profit for themselves. This will allow decentralization to become financially advantageous. Fourthly, is to scale the fourth point is to scale the Layer 1 mainnet in preparation for the future agentic economy. Deciding whether to buy ETH at this current low depends on 3 critical questions. Is a credible and neutral Ethereum deemed necessary by the future market? If it is, what market share can we expect? If there is market share, how much value can translate into ETH? The token, the native currency. For Ethereum to prosper, it is essential that ETH maintains a certain price level. Otherwise, its total value locked TVL within the assets may face inadequate security. On 1st of June, Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, disclosed in an 8K filing that it has sold 32 BTC, approximately 2.5 million, for the first time since the end of 2022, with the proceeds allocated for the payments of dividends on STLC preferred shares. Although 32 BTC constitutes a negligible amount for a company holding 840,000 BTC, the announcement provoked a significant market response. Subsequently, on 8th of June, Strategy announced the repurchase of 1,550 BTC, around 101 million, funded not through additional BTC sales, but rather by selling approximately 1.4 million shares of MSTR stock. It can be inferred that the initial sale of 32 BTC served as a stress test for seller to evaluate the viability of selling a small amount of BTC to strengthen the financial structure. The market's immediate reaction, the market's response, suggested otherwise, effectively rejecting his strategy. So this is a hypothesis testing as well. You may consider from the point of view of money management when we try a new financial management strategy. You may try a little bit for a stress test and let the market tell you the answer. Let the market teach you how to make money. And let the financial market guide you through how to manage your own resources or your own money. So, in a return to a more conventional course of action, the company, MSTR, opted for equity dilution through offering additional shares to raise cash. Regarding the Clarity Act, this legislation concerning digital asset market regulation passed the Senate Banking Committee on 14th of May with a vote of 15-9, garnering bipartisan support from 2 Democratic senators. The key focus of deliberation revolved around whether stablecoins could accrue interest, ultimately leading to a compromise that prohibited passive interest accrual while allowing transaction-based rules. The next step involves a full Senate vote. Concurrently, the 4 major U.S. banks, JP Morgan, Citi, BofA, Wells Fargo, announced their collaboration to establish a shared tokenized deposit network as a countermeasure to stablecoins. This initiative aims to transition bank deposits onto on-chain technology for 24/7 real-time transaction, while ensuring that funds remain within their existing system. However, this network is not anticipated to launch until 2027, indicating that any substantial impact is still some years away. The Clarity Act is perceived as favorable for cryptocurrency exchanges and stablecoins, yet it encroaches upon the business of traditional banks, prompting the major banks to pursue their own tokenized deposit strategy as a response. On 5th of June, Shielded Labs revealed a significant vulnerability in the Oxford shielding protocol, discovered by cybersecurity engineer Taylor Hornby, utilizing Anthropic's Opus 4.8. This flaw, which has existed since 2022, theoretically permits the unlimited creation of untraceable counterfeit coins. Although a fix was implemented on 1st of June, the inherent privacy features of the shielding pool prevent verification of any potential undisclosed coin generation over the past 4 years. This raises questions regarding the implications of AI on cryptocurrency and DeFi sectors, whether the outcomes will manifest as short-term disruption or lead to a long-term invalidation of underlying crypto principles. And from our previous analysis, we suggest the former, indicating a probable misjudgment of value in DeFi projects by the market. Additionally, as of 3rd of June, BitMine, BMNR, successfully issued $300 million in perpetual preferred shares, with a 9.5% dividend and a net capital raise of approximately $273.8 million. Okay, back to our market miscellaneous live streaming. Additionally, as of 3rd of June, BitMine, BMNR successfully issued $300 million in perpetual preferred shares, with a 9.5% dividend and a net capital raise of approximately $273.8 million, utilizing the entirety of the proceeds to acquire more ETH and expand its staking infrastructure. BitMine currently holds 5.42 million ETH, around 4.49% of total supply, with 87% stake, targeting a goal termed the alchemy of 5%, a strategy to amass 5% of the total ETH supply. A key differentiation between ETH treasuries and BTC treasuries is that ETH can generate cash flow through staking, or BTC cannot. Or you may have to consider some BTC file, like lending it to some Babylon. So merely staking the ETH could yield around 258 million in annual revenue for Bitmine alone. These revenues, derived without the need for asset liquidation or shareholder dilution, could be directed toward funding the broader Ethereum ecosystem's needs, including business development, developer support, and ecosystem expansion, highlighting a rationale for Bitmine potentially establishing a second foundation. No wonder why people says that Bitcoin is the digital gold, while Ethereum is the digital crude oil. So by gold means that it has its store of value, like Bitcoin. Bitcoin has its fixed supply and very solid store of value. On the other hand, Ethereum emphasizes on its utilization. It's like crude oil, which facilitates the economic growth of humanity. On 3rd of June, Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, stated, "I'm taking a break, TTYL," leading to ADA dipping below $0.2 for the first time in 5 years. Critical to this situation is his commentary regarding his lack of special authority over Cardano. He possesses neither governance keys or the ability to initiate hard forks or alter protocol parameters, nor does he have access to the treasury. Cardano's governance, which is set to launch on-chain in 2025, will place the 470 million treasury under the voting control of ADA holders, resulting in the community rejecting proposals from its founder. Actually, Cardano and Ethereum face similar challenges. Effective decentralization has resulted in founders lacking the ability to influence their ecosystem significantly again, aligning with the initial intent of public chain design and raising no inherent issues. The concern lies in the fact that while market participants and communities advocate for decentralization, they refer to seeking direction from founders in times of crisis. So every time when there's a market drop or some drawdown, people will look to Vitalik or Charles Hoskinson for the answer. Just like in real life in the society, people may sacrifice their own freedom, sacrifice their own liberty to the government in some severe crisis like pandemic or war. In terms of tokenized assets, BitGet has launched Reality, enabling the tokenization of US stocks and ETFs on-chain, backed 1-to-1 by FINRA registered broker. Binance and Gate have also begun offering real stock trading. This new tokenization engine, Ondo, has reached a total value locked TVL of 1 billion. In the stablecoin sector, SoFi has issued SoFi USD on Solana, the first stablecoin publicly issued on an unrestricted chain by a national US bank with FDIC insurance. As more cryptocurrency exchanges introduces US stock offerings, several implications arise. The pricing authority for US stock may gradually shift from Nasdaq and NYSE to the crypto space. In the short term, capital may flow from crypto to the stock market. However, in the long run, the enhanced composability of real-world assets out of ACE could positively impact DeFi infrastructure, including lending, trading, and perpetual contracts. The future of finance increasingly appears to be on-chain, resonating with Paul Atkins' SEC chair's vision. However, of course, the current RWA landscape is still very immature. Like I've said in this morning, many people who have opted for the SpaceX IPO using on-chain tokenized stocks launch platforms they found out that they could not get their expected IPO SpaceX IPO shares, and this severely harmed the legitimacy of the out of eight organization. And as we do our own business, or just like when we grow, trust has to be established over many years, but it can be hurted within just a second. Like the saying that Rome is not built in a day. However, Hiroshima and Nagasaki both were blown in just a few seconds. And humanity or civilization is just like the trust of the out of A sector. Lastly, pertinent developments in structural significant protocols include MOFO's release of the Midnight White Paper, a credit agreement with fixed interest rates and terms that operates akin to traditional bonds and loans, allowing on-chain lending to function like a tradable component rather than passive deposits in a pool. Base has also introduced Base MCP, enabling AI agents like Claude to execute on-chain DeFi operations via natural language without exposing private keys. Morpho is poised to be a key competitor to AAVE, whereas Base is likely to emerge as a crucial growth engine for Coinbase. Thus, ongoing observation of these fundamental changes remain imperative. How about this? Let me briefly explain what MCP is for those newbies or beginners who have yet to learn about this fundamental old concept in AI. Thank you, Gura. Let me review the comment section. I like GPUs and CPUs. Yeah, I like GPUs and CPUs too. I like it for gaming and for making money. We need tons of GPUs and CPUs for making money. Just briefly summarize over what MCP is. Model Context Protocol (MCP) functions as the digital neural system for AI agents. In its absence, when AI agents seek to connect to a new data source, such as an alternative exchange, developers are compelled to rewrite code from scratch, akin to needing to create a custom plug for each new appliance. Conversely, the integration of MCP, the skill we use nowadays, equates to providing AI agents with a universal plug, which facilitates compatibility with any source, thereby enhancing efficiency and reducing labor. In a world filled with significant developments in the crypto realm, I think you have all experienced a roller coaster of events, particularly in regard to the volatile PvP situation on-chain as the crypto landscape evolved. Notable figures like CZ and He Yi, the CEO of Binance, have engaged in activities ranging from community-driven meme contests to personal interactions in humor, all contributing to the proliferation of meme coins with multi-million-dollar market capitalization. This rapid oscillation in value leads to new challenges for participants in the community. The discussion focuses on MCP's function, establishing a secure bidirectional link between large models and data sources, thereby addressing issues of data acquisition, particularly the challenge of data silos. Current frameworks pose several challenges, such as complexity in AI model integration, and significant commercial constraints in tools like LangChain and Llama Index. MCP aims to facilitate connections between AI instances and an array of data sources, such as content libraries, business tools, and development environments, and was grounded in standards development. In standards developed since the late 2024, I think. MCP serves as a metaphorical universal adapter for AI agents, While it is possible to operate without it, doing so presents substantial difficulties and challenges. Without MCP, each time an AI agent aims to integrate with a new data source, the programmer must rewrite their code. However, with MCP, integration becomes seamless and efficient, akin to how a standard USB-C port unifies various charging mechanisms. Moreover, non-technical users can leverage MCP, just like us, to interface smart home devices with AI, thus broadening its applicability. The core applications of MCPs are illustrated through some practical examples. For instance, in a scenario where an individual seeks to watch a movie, a traditional AI system would require manual local location entry, while an MCP-enabled AI could autonomously access local maps and filter relevant show times. Further applications in investment settings showcase the enhanced capabilities of AI's agent system powered by MCP, which enable real-time data retrieval, macroeconomic analysis, and immediate reporting. We are going to demonstrate on how to install a long bridge skill as well. In the realm of cryptocurrency, MCP presents unique opportunities. It allows AI agents to seize investment opportunities by checking current prices and social media sentiment, to automate transactions based on predetermined conditions, and to monitor market trends effectively. Importantly, MCP plays a crucial role in safeguarding users' wallets during transactions. There exists a collaborative relationship between MCP protocols and encrypted AI agents, with MCP providing essential data connectivity support that enhances the operational efficiency of AI agents without establishing a competitive dynamic. MCP serves as a layer of standardized layer. As well, encrypted AI agents function at the application layer to process this layer. Looking toward the future, MCP demonstrates vast potential within the landscape of encrypted AI agents by linking them to real-time data sources that augment market analysis, facilitate automated trading, and ensure secure data processing. As developments emerge, MCP could see broader implementation, contributing significantly to the evolution of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Despite this, risks include potential loss of distinct characteristics among existing AI agents as they adopt MCP into their technological frameworks. In light of these developments, most analysts noted that the excitement surrounding Menace and MCP has significantly impacted the Web3 AI agent market. However, emphasizing that while Web3 AI agents incorporate AI algorithms at their front end, MCP serves primarily as a transmission facilitator. The core value lies within the data and models themselves. Menace may represent at that time, Menace AI may represent a comprehensive marketplace with numerous standard products, potentially failing to meet the diverse needs of users, whereas contemporary Web3 AI agents offer specialized products and services. As noted earlier, understanding user needs, understanding user demands deeply remains crucial for any team or any individual aiming to extract the ultimate rewards from its evolving domain. So if you recently many white coded app though will find they do not attract any users and they result in zero sales. And this resonates with our rich mindset, with our financial education concept. The key of money management lies in user demand, lies in market demand. 理財嘅關鍵在於市場需求。佢唔一定你單純用好多科技唔一定會幫到你賺好多嘅錢。你除咗要應用啲新嘅科技之外，你仲需要去捕捉一個未滿足嘅市場需求。The adoption of innovative technologies is only a must. It's only a basic. It does not guarantee any profits or income for you. The key of money management, the key of financial management, and the key to create an income lies in the discovery of market needs, lies in the discovery of market demand. If you want to make money, if you want to earn, you have to spot the unsatisfied market demand, just like we spot the arbitrage opportunities. Okay, now let's install the long bridge skill together. So everyone, you may install the long bridge skill with me together. For those foreigners who may not know, Longbridge is a broker in Hong Kong. Longbridge is a broker originated in Hong Kong, and recently it faced some fines from the CCP, from the Communist Party of China, because it mistakenly offered services for mainland Chinese. Let's get started. And this is the Longbridge. And as you see, it also supported HTTP MCP, Model Context Protocol service. If you want to access Longbridge market data. So for a quick start, you may Longbridge quote, Longbridge portfolio, you may use Longbridge quote. And if you want a introduction to how to install this Longbridge skill, you may refer to our links to earn. Links to earn summary is the Google Doc for Weebearn, I myself, to make money, and this is the collection of tools I use for me to make money. This is the links to earn. Links I use to earn 6.0 version. And as you can see, we provide I myself drop a note on how to install this Longbridge skill, and let me perform it now. So I go down to traditional finance and stock exchange. So here is the Longbridge AI, Longbridge skill. And let me share it to the Discord channel as well. And here's the whole installation guide. We first Longbridge init 5T71E. Wait. Let me go down here. So we register an account, and you may click on the link I've just typed in the chat room, and then you may choose your account. And I myself is a Hong Kong, and if you are not in Hong Kong, you may maybe you may consider some VPN. Longbridge skill supports many mainstream AI agents platforms, including EasyCall, Cursor, CallCode, and Minimax Desktop. And you may install this Longbridge skill according to this file. Here we can see that Longbridge CLI has installed successfully, and we can type Longbridge H for help, and it gives you all the commands you need. If you need full detail, you may also choose one of the command and add a H or help for field. And it will also guide you through all the things you need to know regarding those commands. For example, cash flow. Now we have successfully connected Weebearn Hermes Agent to Longbridge. My AI is now connected to Longbridge. and I can close this page. Let's see what skill can do for us. Screening, cross-market screening, technical diagnosis, earnings research, smart money tracking, since there's no since the market is closed in weekend, we may edit the prompt a little bit. How about this? Which HK or which HK sectors are seeing institutional accumulation in the previous week? Show me the top 3 with net inflow greater than 2 times 20-day baseline. HolyCrab is a CLI-driven trading skill for Polymarket that combines market discovery, wallet management, and execution tools for Polygon or Web3 users. Key features include searchable market browsing, trending search, full JSON, or formatted table output, envtuber wallet configuration, HolyCrab public key, with one-time contract approvals, around 6 TXNs, around 0.01 POL gas, and split CLB execution to buy yes or no position. It tracks positions with entry prices, current prices, and P&L, and offers LLM-powered hash discovery to just suggest covering portfolios with logical implication. We may use HolyCrab for research manual or programmatic trade execution, portfolio monitoring, and hash planning on Polymarket. Outputs support human-friendly tables and machine-readable JSON for integration into analytics or automation pipelines, emphasizing quick setups and repeatable, auditable trades. Oh, and recently, as Weebearn, I watched YouTube videos. I spotted this convenient quant research platform, and it's so convenient that I think it actually replaces some of my knowledge. So this is bquant, and I found it in a YouTube ad. So the lesson of this is ads can sometimes be good. You may find some valuable advertisement, and not all advertisements are bad. This YouTube ad brought me to a convenient quant research platform. You can also use this B agent to help you construct a whole strategy workflow. So you may try this quant research platform. And you can build from scratch, or you can use this template like ETH, efficient BTC, ETH, multi-coin. These are some timing the market strategy, and they are powered with light GBM model, LSTM, and transformer also. Here you may visualize the flow, and first it comes the data source. You can fetch data from exchanges like Binance or OKX. You may choose from spot, perpetuals like USDT or coin margin. And there are actually many asset pairs. Besides BTC or ETH, there are actually over, you may choose all 97 asset pairs. And this is where you choose the time frame from 1 minute trade to daily key line. Let's choose 1 minute. Next is the data preprocessing, and this is the look back period, since all the factor calculation requires a look back period, just like the context window for LLM. The maximum look back period is 10,000, and if you type in a larger number than 10,000, it will treat it as 10,000. The default look back period is 720 key lines, I think, and it's very sufficient. It's enough for quant research, I think. Here are all the factors and features, and it's very amazing that besides technical analysis factors like all those volatility, momentum, trends, oscillators, all those related to price and volumes, market microstructure, and these are some statistical features of the prices itself. Actually, these are also some price data and some pattern trading. There are also some fundamental factors, which is amazing. Fundamentals include money flow, derivatives, leveraging, on-chain valuation. Those we use in our daily life, like MVRV, score, momentum, MVT, the earnings or SOPR, and these are the realized loss and profit ratio, and it evaluates aggregate data of the losers and winners over the blockchain, and also the behavioral finance and behavioral studies of holders on chain sentiment, or some trading velocity, number of transactions, and also some very interesting factors. You may think it as a factory investment. For those who are interested in factory investment, you may watch Weebearn. I've posted an introduction to factory investment series in our main VTuber channel. Minor, institutional flow, networking fee, sentiment, and here are some exclusive factors only to BTC or ETH, like the BTC stack weight, BTC taproot, BTC S2F model. These are also the exclusive factors to ETH. The validators, the burns of ETH, the smart contract holder ratio. Maybe let's choose all of this, maybe. And here you may choose the model, like gradient boost model. You may choose it for classification or regression. Then these are the risk management, allocation, portfolio management, and strategy type. And you may choose from timing the market and choosing the stock. And you may fine-tune your entry and exit condition, set your portfolio management. You may even choose the grid trading. And let's go for a backtesting. Save and run a backtesting. While we're waiting for it rendering the backtesting result, we may consider the open call polycall. Is for open call. Last time we have we have completed the integration of cron scheduling, right? And you may also integrate MCP server. MCP lets Hermes agent connect to external tool servers so that the agent can use tools that live outside Hermes itself: GitHub, databases, file systems, browser stacks, internal APIs, and more. If you have ever wanted Hermes to use a tool that already exists somewhere else, MCP is usually the cleanest way to do it. And here are the advantages of MCP. Access to external tool ecosystems without writing a native Hermes tool first. Local STDIO servers and remote HTTP MCP servers in the same config. Automatic tool discovery and registration as startup. This is very important for we startup founders. Utility wrappers for MCP resources and prompts when supported by the server. And a pre-server filtering, so you can expose only the MCP tools you actually want Hermes to see. Let's try this again, okay? Oh, we haven't set the env. Or maybe we can install the MCP. Okay, now let's try this again. Pretty well, we've set up the UV environment. And then add an MCP server to Hermes config YML. Like this. MCP ships a curated catalog of MCP servers that now staff has reviewed and merged. They are disabled by default, and you may install only what you actually want. Here maybe some of the assets cannot be tested. Let's choose a simpler model. Using only Ethereum, I think. Ethereum, timing the market. Let's try Ethereum's exclusive factors. Initiation STM model. Okay, let's try it. Let's see what the Hermes agent respond. It raised a Weebearn reposted SocGen securities analysis from 8th of April to 9th of June. Why isn't it considering the long bridge skill with just install? Open Cloud, ChatGPT, Cloud. Yeah, they pretty much the same. Current credentials. Use long bridge. Now here it generates a backtesting report. The total return total ROI is almost 10,000%. CAGR is around 10,000%, and the maximum drawdown is 21.81%. Oh, really? Okay, it's now getting some progress. So all those long bridge commands start from long bridge. Hermes Agent has its own multi-agent by the Kanban. Agents claim tasks from a block, work in parallel, and hand off when blocked. And we may watch the progress and unblock from an easy view instead of juggling terminals. Or maybe next time we may try some multi-agent orchestration. But this time, due to time limit, we'll just try this long bridge skill, and we'll try the multi-agent orchestration next time. Stay tuned and do not miss our multi-agent orchestration in our next AI agent live stream at AI agent Miscellaneous. Here goes the answer. Our Hermes agent successfully utilized our specified long bridge skill and long bridge data to give us a whole demo for the Hong Kong market long bridge info. It generates the report around Minimax, Hotmart, Alibaba. These are all the famous stocks in Hong Kong or Chinese stock. It gives us an industry rank by market cap, and these are the largest capital flow for individual stocks. BYD is in a positive inflow zone, and this vehicle commonly exhibits a negative exhibits an outflow, a peak outflow of 3 million Hong Kong dollars. Minimax also gives a major drawdown and significant money outflow. By comparing BYD versus another vehicle company, EV company, we may see that within the EV industry or vehicle industry, the money attracting capability of BYD is stronger than its its peer. That's why my father also bought some BYD shares. Current API of non-bridge cannot give this comparator. Okay, maybe we'll leave the remaining AI agent demo in our next live stream, in our next market reading miscellaneous. Again, Weebearn in Cantonese 毒撚賺錢台, or literally means Otaku money making channel, is a comprehensive money educational platform, a anime community, and a VTuber incubator, a VTuber alliance dedicated to make weebs great again, to make otakus rich again. And we provide comprehensive financial education so as to help secondary school students and anime fans earn more passive income so as to achieve financial freedom.